Hey, what's up? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to another video. Hope all is well. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G, and we're going to be comparing it to the Samsung Galaxy A36 5G. But if you're brand new to the channel, I truly appreciate you for coming through. If you're new, make sure you stay locked in to the end of the video so we can compare both of these smartphones and kind of talk about the comparison, the differences, some of the similarities, but most importantly, which one is right for you in 2025. But make sure you watch to the end of the video. I encourage you to subscribe and get notified for more videos just like this. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute. So yeah, let's talk about both of these phones. They both come in a box, which is basically going to give you your charger and your, it's not going to come with the wall adapter, but it will come with the Type-C cord, as well as your SIM remover tool. And then that's basically going to be everything that you get inside the box, as well as the user manual and the user guide. So you can see right here, you're going to be getting those quick start guides right here for the A36, as well as this little volume control capabilities sheet. It comes with like that plastic over top of it that you peel off on the screen. And so yeah, pretty basic unboxing experience that we have right here. And then this is the charging cable that you actually get with the A36, and you will actually have to buy your own brick if you want to actually get this thing fast charged at 25 watts. Now inside the Samsung Galaxy A16, same thing, you're getting this paper material that comes wrapped around it. You also do get your cardboard packaging with the phone included in there, and SIM remover tool, as well as your same deal, your quick start guide, as well as your terms and conditions bundled inside of there. Type-C to Type-C cable is also going to be included in the deal as well. And so yeah, basically you don't get that much in here except for those things that come included with it. So it would have been nice to have a case on these devices out of the box, but Samsung used to do that with the A20 and they stopped after the A21 series. So yeah, now we're gonna take a look at the bodies of both phones. They both come with this like glossy back on the rear of both phones, and you're gonna see a triple camera setup for both of these. As you can see, it has this reflective coating on the outside. It feels like the A16 has gathered more scratches than the A36 after long-term use. I've been using the A16 for a little bit less than a year. It did come out in North America probably like 6 months ago, but it was actually released to the international market several months before then. So yeah, obviously, I do have the North American model for both of these phones. So these are the ones that the US version that you will get if you did pick these up in the US. So yeah, there's a big price gap when it comes to these phones. The A16 is going to offer you the phone for $145, whereas the Samsung Galaxy A36 is going to be priced at $299. So yeah, starting with the appearance, you're going to notice that both of them are basically the same exact height, same width in the hand. They both feel really good in the hand because they have these sides which are flat, and basically you can stand them up because of the flat edges, which gives them like this aspect which sort of looks like iPhones now. Samsung has been kind of given that design now, and that's kind of the new design of smartphones, which I really like. It actually makes it a little bit easier to hold in the hand, which I like. And so yeah, on the left hand side you actually get the SIM remover tool, or the SIM remover slot on the outside right here on the left, which is for the Samsung Galaxy A16. And what's really cool about the A16 is if you put a SIM card remover tool inside the SIM slot, you're going to notice that we do get expandable storage. on this one. So you basically have that on this side. On the left side of the A36, there's actually going to be nothing on there. If you look at the top of the phones, there's actually dual microphones on the A36, where there's only one microphone on the A16. When you turn them upside down, you're actually going to see this SIM slot for the A36. And one of the things about the A36 is when you take out the SIM slot right here, you're going to notice that they don't have expandable storage on here. So yeah, that's something that you're going to miss out on when you go from the A16 to the A36. So you won't have expanded storage option. So that whatever storage is in the phone is basically what you're going to be having through the duration of the phone. So you will have to be mindful not to download too many apps and pictures and videos, because if you do run out of space, you will have to delete them. So yeah, you have your speaker grill right on the bottom, dual microphones on the A36 on the bottom, but that single firing microphone right here. And so yeah, I'm gonna go through the speakers and everything, but you do have that similar grill, which is gonna house your fingerprint and your volume rockers, which is also the power button. One of the things is that the fingerprint sensor is a lot bigger on the A16 when you compare it to the A36. It's just a button that pops out. This one is actually indented in the phone. So if I show you right here, you can see that the A36 button kind of sticks out, and it has a nice click to it. They both actually have a really nice click to them. And then you get your volume rockers. So that's pretty much the way that they look when it comes to the outside of the phones. So yeah, the biggest difference is going to be the displays. So let's just jump into the displays on both of these phones. And yeah, when it comes to the displays of both of these phones, they're basically going to give you similar dimensions. So you get that 19:5:9 aspect ratio with full HD on both of these phones. And when it comes to the resolution on both of these phones, the A16 actually has a pretty decent 6.7-inch display. The A36 also does have that same 6.7-inch display with the identical aspect ratios on both. They're both going to look pretty good though when it comes to the displays, but there's a huge difference when it comes to the displays, and I want to talk about that right now. But yeah, the A36 was actually released 6 months ago. The A16 was released like 11 months ago, and I think these are going to be pretty solid when you compare them. So we're getting plastic and glass on the A36 with IP67 rating, and we're getting IP54 on the A16 with plastic materials. So I think that the A36 actually uses real glass, which is cool on the back because it doesn't even scratch, whereas I could see the plastic on the A16 definitely does scratch easier. So, you know, besides that point, the A16 is just going to be slightly heavier at 200 grams. The A36 is actually going to be 195 grams, making it a little bit lighter. So yeah, let's jump into the displays. So they both are rocking the Super AMOLED panels, which absolutely are mind-blowing when it comes to looking at. Samsung actually has two of the best displays here right on the market for budget phones. So taking a look at these displays, you're gonna notice two differences. So the first difference is the bezel. On the A16, the chin is much thicker than the chin on the A36. So they actually made the chin slightly smaller on the A36. And then on the foreheads, you're gonna notice that we have that U display drop on the A16, and then we actually have the punch hole cutout display on the A36. So yeah, much more narrow bezels in the A36. And also the other thing you're gonna notice is that the A16 is gonna have bigger bezels when you compare them side by side. So we're gonna crank up the brightness on both of these phones just so you can actually see how they look when you compare the brightness, and they look really good. as far as the screens, they look very, very solid when it comes to the contrast of colors and also how bright the colors get, as well as the saturation of the colors. It's really nice to look at as well. You do get that app draw on both, which is very helpful when you're navigating through your apps and everything. We're also going to get similar apps on both of these, as well as that slide out feature right here for your multitasking, so you can easily get to your apps that you want. When you hit that, you can actually do your drop quick pop-up window right here. For the both of these phones have that pop-up window, and they both have the ability to shrink the pop-up window, making it customizable right here. So you can see the window is really customizable, and you can have as many windows as you want. You could also minimize them, and it'll shrink into this little icon here on the screen, which is really cool for both. They're both rocking One UI 7, which is also really solid. So yeah, they have that icon which you can actually shrink out when you're done using it. And yeah, so I really like that feature for multitasking on both of these devices. When it comes to the displays, they're absolutely gorgeous. 1080 by 2340 for both of these devices when it comes to the resolution. So I think they're using the exact same panels, but we're going to test that out in just a second. All right, guys, so I wanted to show you a side-by-side comparison of the screens and the resolution with the top-down view, and go into the advanced settings and test out the quality. So you can see we're getting 1080 on the A16 and 2160p on the A36 5G. So looking at the colors on both of these phones, they absolutely look really brilliant. Wonderful viewing angles. They almost look identical looking at them side by side. We get the 90 hertz refresh rate on the A36 and the 120 hertz refresh rate on the so we get the A16, we get the 90 hertz, and we get the 120 hertz on the A36. We have Gorilla Glass 5 on the A16, and we have Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the A36. And as far as the pixels per inch, they're both going to be giving you 385 pixels per inch, which is actually really impressive. So when it comes to looking at both of these phones, it actually gives you a very similar viewing angle and also very similar experience when it comes to looking at them. That I think that they look pretty much identical when it comes to comparing these. The only difference is that you get that more immersive display with the punch hole cutout, because it's less to look at. It's just the hole right here versus that entire, waterfall dewdrop on there. So let's just clear out all the apps really fast, and I kind of want to do a side-by-side app opening test to see which ones will open up faster. So we're going to start out with YouTube, 1, 2, 3. And that looks like it's going to go to the A36 as far as the speeds right there. Let's do a few more. So let's do the Play Store. A36 opened up faster. Let's try Meta. That time the A36 did open up faster. Let's do IG. And that was the A36. It opened up immediately. So 3 to 1. Let's do the Bible app. That time it was the A36 again. So I'm noticing that the A36 looks like it just has faster launch times when it comes to the app opening process. There's a slight lag when I'm trying to close that app right there. So yeah, much faster when it comes to efficiency. Let's do Groupon. I did notice a bit of a delay after I pressed the button on the A16. So 5 out of 5 goes to the A36 right here. As you can see, it's much faster when it comes to opening up apps. And let's just do one quick one to see if the SoundCloud, see if this can, we can actually get one for the A16. Again, that delay kicked in for the A16, and then as you can see, the A36 just opens up much faster, and it's way more responsive when it comes to opening and even closing the app. You see how the reaction time is a bit delayed on the A16 right there. Now I'm going to do a microphone test with both phones. So I'm going to take the microphone off of my shirt and play some, I'm going to put both of them at full volume. So they're both at full volume, and then I'm going to play some music. So let me go ahead and take the microphone off and put it up to the phone. I'm going to do the A16 first. All right, so that was the A16, now the A36. All right, so without any a shadow of a doubt, the A36 is much louder because it's gonna have dual speakers. That's the biggest difference, is that those dual speakers are gonna be extremely loud, and also they're gonna come out from both sides, top and bottom. So the A36 definitely takes it when it comes to the mic test. Now, as far as software, they're basically the same with the One UI 7.0 and Android 15 on both of these devices. And so yeah, I want to test out the cameras. So they both have a 50 megapixel camera, but they are different sensors. They also offer an 8 megapixel wide angle on the A36 and a 5 megapixel wide angle on the A16, as you can see on the back. You also do have the 2 megapixel portrait on the A16 and an 8 megapixel macro on the A36. As far as the front-facing shooters, you're getting a 13 megapixel on the A16 and a 5 megapixel on the A36. So let's actually take a few shots and I'll show you that right now. All right, so as far as the camera software, you can see that we do get that wide angle camera at 0.5. We also have up to 10 times on both, which is cool. You also have your toggle right here, which can give you access to more settings on this, which is actually pretty solid. So you can see right there at the top, they do have some features right here to customize. There's a few more on the A36. If you go right here down below, you can actually change the aspect ratio on both, which is kind of cool. And if you go to the 1x and then click the icon where the settings come out, you can actually change both of them to the 50 megapixel camera. So let me just take a quick shot with the A36. The shutter speed is really fast on that one, and the shutter speed on the A36 is actually a little bit slower. So yeah, you get photo, video on these. You also do have more, and then they basically have the similar options right here, but you're gonna see that we have a few more that we don't have on the A16. So you actually get a few more options right here on the A36, like single take. I'm noticing that they do also offer pro video mode as well. So those are going to be the 2 extra features that you're going to be getting on the A36 compared to the A16. So as far as performance, they both have gaming hub, which is going to house our games. We're going to launch PUBG on both. And let's just jump into a quick gaming comparison to see which one you would want to pick up for gaming, and if they even compare, or if it's just a landslide. But as far as the graphics, both of these phones are going to be pretty decent when it comes to gaming. So we have a gyroscope on both as well, which is also going to be helpful, as well as the accelerometer. Let me just turn those down. The compass is actually going to be on the A36. We don't get that on the A16, so just want to mention that too. But they're both going to give you 128 gigabytes of internal storage, And also you're going to notice that we do have 6 gigabytes versus 4 on the A16. You get the A36 with the 6 gigabytes. And you also have the Adreno 710 versus the Mali G68 MC4 on the A16. So Exynos processing chip on the A16 versus the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 on the A36. All right, so here we have the A16 right here, as you can see. So let's go ahead and test this out when it comes to the gaming. Moving it around, not too bad. One of the things about this one is that very easy to cover up the speakers. So let's customize this. Super smooth is a new mode. We also have high. So let me mute the mic right here and then turn this all the way up. But one of the things I noticed is that the speaker gets covered up easily on the A16. Okay, so far not too bad. It's actually performing pretty good. All right, so we got 2 quick kills right there. 3 in a row. So yeah, the A16 is doing a really good job. Okay, so yeah, I think the A16 does a really good job. Very minimal lag, pretty smooth graphics on this device. It feels really solid so far. I'm noticing it's very responsive. And so yeah, you could this is definitely a good phone when it comes to gaming. So I'm gonna stop right here. And I actually got that 4 kill streak going. So I definitely think this is gonna be pretty solid when it comes to the gameplay on the A36, the A16. Oh, and so let me correct myself earlier because I think I said that the A36 had 25 watts fast charging. This actually has 45 watts fast charging. So that's going to be an advantage when it comes to the charging speeds. And then I also noticed that the A36 does have eSIM, whereas the A16, you're not going to get eSIM, but I actually prefer a physical SIM slot. So that's not really like an advantage on like in my opinion, because I don't really use eSIM. I don't really like using it, but they both offer voice over LTE and NFC as well. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool for both of these devices. So that's just something I wanted to kind of throw out there, is that yeah, the charging speeds are going to be much faster on the A36. Also, the graphics look way smoother on the A36. The speakers actually sound a lot better on the A36 as well, I'm noticing. That you can't cover them up when you're gaming on here because they're coming up out from both sides. Wow, really good gameplay on this A36. It's extremely smooth. I'm gonna look at the graphics real quick, and we're rocking smooth and extreme. So that's a big difference when it comes to gameplay. Wow, it's moving a lot faster than I can imagine. Really fast gameplay on this. This is extremely impressive. This feels like console graphics when you compare it to the A16. It feels a little bit more laggy. There's a little bit of a slowdown right here as I'm moving, and I'm noticing that. But it's actually really a lot smoother. But yeah, I did see a lot of slowdown right there as I was approaching the target, which will interfere with the gameplay, in my opinion, if it's slowing down like that. But the graphics look extremely smooth on this. So this is actually going to be an advantage when you're playing with the A36. You're going to have a slight advantage over the A16. Wow, so the team that I'm facing is actually really solid. Let me see if I can get a kill on the A36, but yeah, definitely going to give the gameplay advantage to the A36 right now. Both of these phones do also give you 6 years of updates, of OS updates, and 6 years of security patches on top of that. But wow, I'm really impressed with the gameplay so far. It's very fast, very fluid. It looked like I did get more kills on the A16, but that's just because the competition wasn't as good as it is here. These guys are actually really solid. Like, did you just see that kill? That dude zoomed in with one shot from like a whole football field, which is crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna give the gameplay advantage on the to the A36 when it comes. If you're looking for a gaming phone, the A36 is definitely has more power and performance to it. But yeah, just to wrap things up, I definitely think that both have a really good design. I think that this glass on the A36 is a lot more premium than on the A16. You're going to experience a little less lag, a lot less lag on the A36 as far as what I could see when it came to the app opening test. Better speakers. They both offer like Dolby Atmos, I do believe, when it comes to the sound. But I think, let me just double check this, but when it comes to the A36, you're going to get Dolby Atmos that you can basically use out of the speakers right here. You can see it's turned on. The Dolby Atmos for the A16 only works with the headphone jack and also with the, so it doesn't actually have a headphone jack. So you have to use Type-C for headphones on this, but you need Bluetooth to connect it to get that Dolby Atmos going. And then the other thing is that the multitasking is much faster and much cleaner when it comes to the A36 as far as performance. Faster charging speeds on the A36 as well. And let's basically, as far as the cameras, the A36 is probably going to have that advantage in that area with the faster shutter speed and even a better lens here to capture videos with. So yeah, all around the A36 is the winner, but just to throw it out there, you do have 4K on the A36, and then on the A16, you're locked in at 1080/30. So yeah, big differences in price, but also in performance. So I think that if you spend a little bit more money, you're gonna be more happier with the A36, but the A16, if you like were in that price point where you wanted to spend 200 or less, it's a solid phone, especially for people who don't care about all the extra bells and whistles. But if you're still here, just type down in the comment section, I'm still here, so I know you're still kicking it with me. And I just want to remind you to hit the like button so we can get this video out to more people and help beat the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, I definitely think both of these phones are very solid as far as budget phones. This is more of a mid-range phone when it comes to the A36, and this is going to target that budget-friendly user with the A16. And yeah, that's all I got for now. But make sure you guys stay locked in for more videos just like this, and I'm going to hit you back. I'll check you guys on the next video. Namaste.